latest news around the world today.
Some wisdom skills along the way.
Oh, and a song to hum along with and sway.
Get your perfect entertaining start to the day.
At 9 a.m. every morning with
Mahima's
Good Morning Bay.
Good morning, Bay. आप सभी लोग हमारी तरफ से एक प्यार भरा नमस्ते.
Namaskar.
वनक्कम.
Namaskara.
दीप.
Salam.
सत श्री अकाल.
गंदगी वंदनम.
भाभी दारायत.
जय श्री कृष्ण.
जय जनेन्द्रा.
हमारे स्माइली भाई बंधुओं को बोल दे याद.
And Mola Libat bolte हुए सारी फीचर मतलब बोलेंगे Nisa Bulla Banajar. And yes, yesterday's ordinary experience. Many people actually had their manicure done last night itself, watching the elections. In fact, they're still watching it right now. We don't know what's the results are going to be. Democrats seeming very, very calm. Trump, of course, also is seeming very calm because he says, I've already won it. He says, like, I've already taken it over. So the fence is going to be used right now, but then finally the White House fence is going to come off use. There's going to be barricade. He's going to barricade himself inside White House.
Yeah.
And his militia will support him for sure.
Right.
That's what the news is coming up. But you might want to know what is happening in the news. We'll share with you guys. Sure. लेकिन उससे पहले we're going to do is take a look at what's happening in the roads with रास्ते का हाल एकदम total सस्ते में.
It's time for the Bandu traffic update. Call us from wherever you are at 40912-2479.
I think election has totally kept people in the houses and they're not moving out anywhere. Probably they're contemplating actually moving out of the country if possibly, or probably trying to push on Gavin Newsom to do some Calzect if possible. I wish they should do that because there is an opportunity for states to be able to get away from the United States.
Well, that's what yesterday when I was listening, I was following the election coverage until the wee hours of the morning.
Ooh.
And then yesterday when the president came out and made these absolutely outrageous comments and called this as from the American people, the minds, analysts, reporters, everybody were shocked because it was completely in contrast. Biden said that we need to exercise patience. Trump actually incited violence. Basically what he said was that we won big.
Yeah.
But and then suddenly votes. And he says vote counting has to stop, and he went to the extent. So
actually, what he says initially, if he wins, he wins. That's it, and we knew it. It's actually the spirit of Trump to lose in the beginning itself.
Yeah.
But he's like Trump. One of the in fact, right now it's happening right now. A disabled vehicle on 280 is actually blocking lane street. Exactly what Trump is doing right now. He's a disabled vehicle right now on the progress of America, I should say.
Let's not mark a disabled vehicle. I think he's one of those
roadblocks.
Those 18-wheeler trucks that has gone and stood in the middle of the freeway, and those people that he incites into going and blocking other people from going and voting.
No, I would say 18-wheeler truck which actually has gone rogue and getting into the public.
Yes, but I didn't finish my thought, Altbaba. What I was trying to tell you was with regard to remember you had been talking about constitutional that we're headed towards.
Yeah.
Looks like that's what's going to happen because he announced yesterday that he's going to take it to the court to decide this election. He said vote counting will not count anymore.
Yeah.
It's not going to count mail-in ballots. People actually, and if you actually think about it, all the votes that were left to be counted were from largely African American territories. The districts, or what do you call them? The voting precincts that were coming from, and numbers of the mail-in ballot votes, which were obviously the people who did the early mail-in balloting were the people who Biden campaign mobilized more than anything else. So he doesn't want that, and that's what he said. And that time the legal analysts and everybody were like, we know at this point, I don't know, they were so upset. They were actually listening, unbiased minds, right? They're supposed to be unbiased minds. They're scholars, right? So they're saying, at this point, what's your reaction? The first thing is some of them actually went to the extent of saying, I don't know, I just want to do this in March or do something, because this is a direct attack on democracy where you're saying that you're going to vote, suppress the votes. And then there was one of the analysts of the vote, she said there would be the little ray of sunshine, all of this. Apparently, in Georgia, in Arizona, Michigan, and all these places, the state and local election officials were already prepared for this. They knew that it's going to come to this, and they already know that they're going to every single ballot. They're not going to let this happen. And that's exactly what she said was that, the ray of sunshine at this United States of America. It is all the states also have a say in it. So like you said, Cal exit and stuff, the states, their governors, their senators, every single person has, all our elected officials, the states have a say in, if it comes to that, if it goes to a constitutional crisis kind of situation, that, people will come together and do the right thing, hopefully.
Yes, but Jan, that's the hope, and of course, usual election overshadows everything. No, I think it's the biggest thing in the entire world, I suppose. It even overshadowed COVID-19, but I'm not kidding. People heard about the COVID-19 virus, and they're talking about election all the while, all night last night, full. In fact, this morning, as a Falthoni was up in the morning, Falthoni, reading into the updates and everything. So she's going to share a lot of updates for you guys right now in the news updates for sure. Lekin, usse pehle, what we going to do, Falthoni? How about we go check out what's the news headlines for today?
Aldo, you need to give me a little bit of time for
what?
that.
Until we ask the morning. Okay, Balajan, don't worry. What we're going to right now is we're going to go into a Ghana Kira for you guys, and this is what it's going to tell you, Balajan. No matter who comes, whether it's going to be Biden or it's going to be the Republican, Trump, doesn't matter. आप बस एक deep सांस लो और अपने छाती पे हाथ रख के बोलो, all is well, because all will be well, Balajan. Nonsense crisis or crisis. Whatever happens there, it's fine. Whether it's going to be, Biden or Trump, it's going to be lesser of two evils. The troubles always are going to be there for us. And of course, don't forget, COVID-19 is still looming over our heads, Barajar. It's waiting for you guys to just take on the election, suppose. उसके बाद और जानकारी देंगे आपको थोड़ी देर में Barajar. News updates come right here on Good Morning Bay.
जब लाइफ हो आउट ऑफ कंट्रोल होठों को करके गोल होठों को करके गोल सीटी बजा के बोल जब लाइफ हो आउट ऑफ कंट्रोल होठों को करके गोल सीटी बजा के बोल.
And of course, Baja writers are Swalan Kirkire and Shantanu Moitra Branjan, sung by Mosono Nigam, Swalan Kirkire and Shan. From the movie
अपना फ्यूचर क्या होगा
3 Idiots.
होठ घुमाओ सीढ़ी बजा के बोल भैया ऑरेंज अरे भैया ऑरेंज अरे चाचू ऑरेंज अरे भैया ऑरेंज कंफ्यूजन ही कंफ्यूजन है सॉल्यूशन कुछ पता नहीं सॉल्यूशन जो मिला था साला क्वेश्चन क्या था पता नहीं मेरा बात बात पे घबराए दिल पे रख के उसे तू फुसला ले दिल इडियट है प्यार से उसको समझा ले होठ घुमाओ सीढ़ी बजा के बोल भैया ऑरेंज अरे भैया ऑरेंज अरे चाचू ऑरेंज अरे भैया
स्कॉलरशिप की पी गया दारू गम तो फिर भी मिटा नहीं अगर मैं राख हो गई गौड़ तो फिर भी दिखा नहीं
पर क्या जाने उसकी जान का क्या होगा सीख घुसेगी या साला की माँ होगा कोई ना जाने अपना फ्यूचर क्या होगा तो होठ घुमा सीढ़ी बजा के बोल भैया ऑरेंज
All is well, Bajan. All is well that ends well. बोलते हैं ना already, Father. Have you heard this pregnant statement?
No.
All is well that ends well.
No, Alto Baba, I have not heard that statement.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Bajan.
I've heard it, obviously I've
कृष्ण
heard it.
भगवान ने बता दिया कि all is well. जो भी होगा अच्छे का भले के लिए होगा, Bajan.
Right.
There was a reason Trump came to power, so that we all can realize how much of a bigotry we have in America. 70 million people actually chose him, Bajan. I mean, that's what actually makes me, a little bit worried or thinking rather. I wouldn't say worried. Also, I guess I'm thinking about the fact that, oh my God, what kind of world we live in right now.
I liked what you posted about the Mukhavar and Javida Badus.
Mukhavar and actually I said that, I was saying in a way, all is good, right? So what we do with COVID-19 right now, we all are very mad.
Yeah.
It's good to be very mass. After looking at 1/3 of our nation voting for bigger Trump on the office, हम तो किसी की मुंह दिखाने लायक नहीं है. Come on, I'm not talking about us as a whole, America as a whole, the world watches us.
Yeah.
Try to, live up to our, ideals, right?
Yeah.
Can you see how much of a, thing we have internally, how much of a turmoil we have? Anyway, the point actually made over here, the music background actually telling you that we're going to come in for updates right now about what's happening in the elections. And let's quickly what's happening in California, Fadwani. California actually went to Biden already because Biden was leading with a very good, I think he was almost, he got 62% of the votes.
Yeah.
And electoral votes I'm talking about. So we chose president as a blue president as we went for Joe Biden. And let's talk the Senate races. There was no Senate races right now in India, but congressional races were there. Well, actually were up for re-elections, and some of the favorites of our thing, Ro Khanna actually kept his seat right now, and as you know, he was one of our allies also at Pragna. He actually is one of our very good allies at Pragna. He actually has done a lot, for the community as well. Ro Khanna actually kept his seat in his district, and then we do have many of them went to the blue. Actually, we had Huffman from District 2. We had John Garamendi, who won in District 3. And let's go to the districts which actually make sense. It's actually District 14 and 15, which actually Eric Swalwell, he won in District 15. And we also had Jackie Spiro, who won in the 14, District 14 actually. But the District 18, I think District 18, which is actually Saratoga and everything, actually Anna Esho won in that particular place with a lead of almost around 40% over her opponent, and who also was Democratic actually. In terms of Republicans winning the seats, I think Kevin McCarthy from District 23 actually won against his Democrat contender, who was Kim Mangone. Pretty much that's the thing about California. We went majority as blue this time around. California always has been a place which Democrats don't recognize, but actually majority of the races for the congressional Republican seats are still being under counting. For the District 1 is not counted fully yet. They only had reported 7 of their counting. And also same thing with even District 4, they haven't completed their own voting as yet. They're not even declared a winner as yet. So there are a lot of places still pending. But in those places specifically, Republicans are leading in terms of the House, right? If you want to know as a whole what's happening across the nation, the congressional seats and everything, if you look at them, Democrats currently are in the lead, 193 seats. They need 218 for majority, Punjajan. Republicans are very close behind in the heel. They have 185 seats right in the Congress. So probably it's going to be again a tight race. It's going to happen. Many states still yet voting as to what's happening with those things. I think we'll take a quick look at the Senate. If you look at it, Senate, I think many states are already reported their wins. Seems like it's going to be in Senate because Senate Republicans, they have 47 seats, the 45.
So there hasn't been much of a change since early morning. They haven't called any of the races, right? Because it's hotly contested still.
There's some states actually called in races in terms of, I think it was, Michigan. Michigan called in, right, already?
Right. No, Michigan has called. It's still voting in, but...
Michigan actually, it's a very tight race. Gary Peters and John 49, and it's a 0.2 percentage. And that's when, if you remember, when these races are called, they're called by the Associated Press. And sometimes Reuters, and the press actually have a.
It depends. And all networks, right?
Correct, but the Associated Press, when they are supposed to be the official people who are going to call the elections. Also, they are of so many years. I think around 70 years they've been calling the elections, and they've been pretty accurate about these things. And so there's actually a huge, huge army of people who actually are supposedly. Bipartisan, no biases. They're calling these things and looking at data and calling these things. And they have a policy. If at all, like for instance, Michigan, right? 96% of votes come in, but the difference between the two candidates is like around 0.2%. So they don't call the vote. They wait for the whole voting to come out.
Right.
So like that, they're waiting for the whole number to come out. If it's like a landslide and they got one of the candidates actually losing, they just call the vote and say, okay, it's done. Right? They data, of course. They very analysts who are there who actually call questions. So let's see what's happening. Still don't know. Probably it'll go for a couple of days. Sometimes we might go a week, Faltwani. You understand that, but elections, it's going to be a tough thing. I will see a lot of drama. Just I would say one thing, just stay close, with your family. Good thing we actually are sheltered in. Stay safe. Don't have to get worked up about what's going to happen to America and everything. Will I go out and get robbed? I think so. Probably there'll be some people, miscreants, who actually will be, running around with some, banner and saying "maga, maga" and everything. So watch out for that. And watch out for people actually who incite this kind of stuff even on Facebook. Don't give too much of importance to that. Relax, take a deep breath, and go. All is well, all is well. Now that was the election update for you guys.
From California, you're talking about?
California also gave state level. No, I given the all states in terms of and presidential part of it. If you look at it, Joe Biden actually electoral votes I shared with you guys in the morning already. 28 seats he has of the electorate, or the votes of the electorates, and also Trump 213. So Biden seems to be closer to the 270 to win. We don't know what's going to happen. It's still not called. States are there which probably might push Biden up a little bit. It happens. A quick look at what's happening with. How about we go and see what the headlines are other than elections? Faltoni, enough of elections and everything. I want to talk more.
Most of my headlines are about the election, but I am going to give you an update about what's going on with regard to the different states as well, Banajan, and how we should be interpreting these results more than anything else, right?
Makes sense.
Let me give you the timeline. Which US states are still counting votes and when will they be done? Well, the outcome of the presidential election still hangs in a balance as 9 states continue to count ballots, including some of the most battleground states, where it can take days to complete. So, Democratic now Biden has a slight edge over incumbent Republican Donald Trump with 4-2 votes, electoral votes. There's about 101 electoral votes that need to be allocated, and the possible paths to victory for both candidates, because the winner needs to have 270 votes. Now, in Alaska, Trump has a wide lead and is broadly expected to carry the state. Still, just about 36% of the has been counted, with Trump ahead by 61% to 34.7%. In Arizona, Biden has a significant lead, and the Associated Press and Fox News have already called the state for Biden. 86% of the expect counted, leads with 31% against the 14.6% for Trump, according to a research. Georgia, let's tell you, this is a very contentious battleground state.
I thought they called Georgia last evening itself, right? Didn't they?
No, there's still mail-in ballots that need to be counted. So there is in Fulton County in Georgia, right? A pipe was burst.
Whoa.
So they couldn't count over there, some burst over there, so they couldn't actually do count over there. And also, remember the ballots that a judge ordered that the USPS has to, United States Postal Service had full sweep because 3,000 ballots went missing.
Wow. That's a lot. In fact, I can actually define the whole race because the race actually is so close. 50.5 and 48.3, like 2%.
Yeah, so Trump
is 2.3 million each.
Exactly, and Trump is holding on to a very narrow lead, but several of the counties around Atlanta that lean Democrat have substantial number of ballots that still need to be counted. So the count in those key locations have resumed with vote tallies expected around midday. Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger says that he'll have the result by the end of today. In Maine, Biden has a large lead, but Maine is one of those states that divide their electoral college votes between the winner of the state popular vote and the winner in each of its congressional districts. So, what that actually means is, let's say the whole majority voted for one candidate, and still they voted the candidate of a different party in a particular congressional district. The opposing, whoever is the presidential candidate that is represented by the party that that congressional man won, gets that number of electorals. Meaning, so if there are 2 districts won, they get 2 electoral votes. So in what is happening is that 24% of the expected wide vote is in at this point. Biden has led 54.4% to Trump's 42.4%. If that result holds, Biden is going to claim 2 of the 4 electoral votes. Also leads 1.4%, 35.6% in Maine's 1st congressional district, with 70.2% of the vote count, which would earn him 1 more electoral vote. Trump, meanwhile, has a lead of 53% in the state's 2nd congressional district, but over there, only half of the expected is. In Michigan, Biden has a razor-thin margin with Wayne County, the state's largest, home to still a long way from finished, with about 76.1% of the expected votes counted. Wide, with 92% of the expected vote in, Biden has an edge of 49.5% to 48.9%. The vote counts in Wayne and a clutch of other key counties are expected to continue updating into Wednesday. Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson has said they have the first unofficial tabulation within 4 hours. And Nevada, long seen as a solid leading state, Nevada now appears in play. That's right. Edison research data shows 86% of the vote is in, and Biden's lead is just at 49.3% to 48%. Officials expecting votes, largely mail ballots, to be counted by 9 a.m. Pacific time. North Carolina, the margin between Trump and Biden is in 2 percentage points as the president clings to a lead of 50.1 as opposed to 48.7 for the Democrat. 45% of the expected vote already counted. The state allows mail-in ballots that are postmarked by Tuesday to be if they're by November on Wednesday morning. The Biden campaign said that they expect a final result to take several days. And now to the most contested state, which is Pennsylvania. Of the battleground states, Pennsylvania has the farthest to go in counting votes, and Trump so far maintains a large lead. With 79% of the expected counted, Trump is up 53% to 48% for Biden. Officials there can accept mailed-in ballots up to 3 days after election if they are posted by day. About 1 million votes still need to be counted. So Governor Tolf, Democrat, has declared that. So if the margin of victory is within 1%, how one will require a recount, and looks like Pennsylvania is going to go for recount.
Well, it looks that way, but we don't know what's going to happen. But as of now, the way it stands, we still have the of around 238 electoral votes for Joe Biden and 213 for Trump. Pennsylvania and North Carolina and also Georgia, in Michigan, and I think it's Wisconsin, right?
Wisconsin, yeah, I forgot to mention Wisconsin. I'm sorry. So
Wisconsin is kind of leaning towards Joe Biden. In fact, the 90 votes are in already, and the difference is like 46 of Joe Biden versus 48.9 for Trump. Very close days everywhere, actually. But so all these are going to be deciding. Basically, there are 3 states which are actually leaning towards Democrats and 3 states leaning towards the Republicans. If you don't tally, has got around 6 electoral votes.
Yeah.
Joe Biden might win Wisconsin, which is 10 against 16 altogether, and Michigan actually has 16 votes. So like around 10, 16, 16, 32 votes maximum.
Yeah.
And Trump, he's might win in Pennsylvania, just 24 electoral votes,
right,
and not 15 electoral votes, and also in Georgia 6 votes. So basically, if you look at it, if we say the way it goes, if it leans towards the way it's actually projected right now, we will see that Joe Biden will win, as in get the because he needs 32 votes, right? He needs how many more to get 70? 238. So 32 votes is required.
Yeah.
If he gets these states, he actually hits the majority.
Right.
But Trump actually would not.
Well, we don't know, Banajan.
It'll be very close race.
It's going to be a very close race. And one thing for sure, Banajan, Reuters has done a detailed break to what will happen if this becomes, if the result is muted. And you saw President Trump come out last night. I don't know how many of you were up watching it. He just seemed very belligerent. And, oh, you know what?
Hey, he's being natural. Come on, Super Media. Why you give him such a hard time, Falcon? You don't understand.
Well,
people are so hard on him. Not fair.
I'm not being hard on him, Altama. I think it's...
Not you, the media.
The media? No, the media is not. He came out and he talked about it. And in fact, he can't even... It was Fox News who called Arizona. A Fox News analyst repeatedly said, no, we make a mistake. We know that we are calling Arizona. They called it again and again, and Trump actually got mad at that. And he actually meant, we were winning there. And the votes count. And then suddenly... Yeah, because mail-in ballots started counted.
No, but what he's trying to say is he was winning, but the election has been tampered with because Democrats are going to win.
Yes, that's exactly
that's his
claim.
precursor to all these things. Why he's doing this? Because he's 100 user. My goodness.
Yeah, this is an unprecedented election, Manjan, because it's a pandemic, and more Democrats have voted by mail in far greater number than Republicans. The voter turnout has been the largest. It's one of the record turnouts that we've had, especially among the younger and also among the mail-in ballot voters.
But there is still saying that Florida, they won, but they lost because Democrats were not able to appeal to Latinx.
Yes, they were not able to. So that's what happened. In Florida, a wave of support from his supporters gave a decisive victory in Florida on Tuesday night, helping him secure the state that has long been seen as bellwether battleground. Trump, who also won the state 4 years ago, outperformed his 2016 margins with Hispanics, who make up 19% of the voters.
Yeah, in a way, I kind of understand loyalty towards Trump will come towards. I'm a business owner. I'm mostly trying to make a, Because Florida is mostly people who are actually business owners, right?
No. It's not the business owners. It's because of the people, the next voters that you're talking about, who voted for him, came from Miami-Dade County because that contains the largest Cuban and Venezuelan communities. And how Trump appealed to this base is by saying that life and the economy is ruined because of socialist peace. And he painted the picture, and he did a very good job at it. He worked on that vote segment, captured it. Trump and his allies painted Joe Biden as a moderate Democrat or a socialist himself.
Oh, they saw Fidel Castro.
Yeah, exactly. So, or in hawk to the left, that struck home. Some Miami voters have told Reuters and other news sources. Trump won Texas and also ate into the Latino support for Democrats in that state, results have showed. And overall, U.S. presidential election is still pending as ballots to be counted. Nationally, Trump got a higher proportion of support from non-voters than he did in 2016, according to Edison Research exit polls. But then again, polls are not to be trusted. But there were pollsters who said that Biden had huge leads here, Trump had huge leads there.
Huge.
But what happened? Everybody knows that this is a highly disputed and contested election. Support for Trump this year rose by 3 points amongst all Latinos and 15 points older Latinos. It jumped by 11 points among black between age 30 and 44. So, but Hispanics in the state of Arizona have shown up for Biden supposedly. What they're saying. So young voters are also the mail-in ballot voters and the suburban voters are the ones that are swinging towards Biden.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you could actually get details on all this on Media Mahima Ahmadajan. I did have a few headlines that I would like to share with you, which are coming out from other parts the world as well. Well, some technology that you definitely want to know about is that California have passed the mission to let Uber treat drivers as contractors. So it is yes on 22. And also in some other news, T-Mobile is going to be paying $200 million fine to resolve FCC subsidy investigation. And Twitter and Facebook suspend some accounts as U.S. election misinformation has been spreading like wildfire online. Walmart and Comcast are now in talks to develop and distribute something called smart TVs, according to the news report in the Wall Street Journal. This is to come against the Apple TV, Samsung TV, and all that stuff, right? And of course, Wall Street is seeking the safety of big tech as elections in the balance. United States big tech comes gainers on Wall Street on Wednesday as investors sought the security of this year's big stay-at-home corporate success stories in the face presidential election set to go down to the wire. And the big tech, we're talking about Microsoft, Intel, IBM, which all rose between 0.4% to 2.2%. And the FANG stocks, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google surged between 3.2% and 7.5%. And also, let's tell you that news from India. Maharashtra police have arrested Republic TV editor-in-chief Arnab Goswami on charges of abetment to suicide of a 53-year-old interior designer and his mother in 2018. Two others who have been arrested have identified as Feroz Sheikh and Sarda. Goswami is arrested from Worli, Feroz Sheikh from Kandi, and Nitesh Sarda from Jogeshwari. He was arrested in a joint operation by the Raigad police and the Mumbai police. The team consisting of AP Chinvaze picked up Arnab from his residence. And Republic TV is making claims that Arnab was assaulted while he was being arrested, including his family members who were. More on that we'll share on MediaMahima.com. And all domestic flights in India remain capped at 60% till February 24th. So that's another thing that's coming out. And in terms of military spending for India, 3 Rafale fighters touchdown in India from France on Wednesday night, joining the first jets that have arrived at the Ambala Air Base on June 29th. Get more information about all this, Manijan, on MediaMahima.com. That's all we have time for on this morning's Good Morning Bay. The important message to remember is that every vote counts, and we need to be patient and need to take action if there is any form of voter suppression in the mix. How do we take action? Peaceful action, quick action. So if you want to get more information about all of this, you can go to our Radio Dehotis, Media Mahima, or to the Media Mahima page. Tonight, live at 5 on the Pam Pam Show.
Hi, this is Jammy Lever, and you're listening to Radio Day 232, where entertainment just keeps getting hotter.